What's up everybody, this is QTheQreator back with another tutorial. This week's look is inspired by this dark unicorn. If you want to see how I accomplish this look, then stay tuned. As usual, I'm going to start off with gluing down my eyebrows using my Elmer's glue stick and drying that and setting that with my Mehron ColorSet powder. After that, I'm going to go in with my foundation and cover my face in its entirety. This foundation is by Maybelline. Of course, it's called the Matte and Poreless Fit Me foundation, and the color is called Coconut. After getting my face covered, I'm going to go in and begin highlighting, and I'm using my black opal pan stick, and that's in the color of Kalahari Sand. Going to start blending all of that out, and then I'm going to go in after that and set my foundation. I'm going to use my Zuri setting powder. It's a loose setting powder and it's in the color of Misty Tan to set my darker portions, and then I'm going to use my ColorSet powder to set my lighter portions. After getting all of my powder on, of course, I'm going to dust off the excess, and I actually ended up going back over the highlighted portions of my face using the Misty Tan just to bring those portions down a little bit because they were a little lighter than I wanted them to be. And now, of course, I'm going to go in and begin to contour my face, and I'm using the color T. I eventually will go back with No Beans and Benny to begin to darken this, but I started with the color T, contouring my cheeks and also my nose. I'm also going to contour my temples and my forehead just to begin to create some shadow. So I'm going to start my eye work using a mix between the color Code James and 10% Off. This is going to be a smoky look, but of course I'm going to start with some warmer tones, and that's eventually going to go to the darker colors No Beans, T, and Benny. But I started with Code James and 10% Off just to create my transition color. So I had the idea to use this metallic powder by Mehron to begin to highlight on my eyebrow, but it didn't really show up how I expected it to, so I just moved along from that and continued deepening in my crease before going and completely smoking out my eyelid. I wanted to begin adding some color into my face and just blending things out, so I went back in with the color 10% Off from the James Charles palette into my cheek, and then I'm also going to start darkening that, and this is using the color Benny from that same palette. After dragging Benny down onto my lower lid and also my waterline, I'm going to now go in with my Mehron liquid activated cake paint, I think it's called, and I'm going to smoke out my lid. So of course I wasn't sure how dark I wanted this look to be. Initially I'm just kind of winging things, so you'll catch me going back into my contour, deepening that as I go throughout this process. I'm gonna now start putting on these gems, which, oh my god, y'all. It doesn't look like I had a hard time, but this actually took the longest of this entire process. Like, I was so annoyed I wanted to actually just stop. But anyway, after getting those on, I decided, okay, I'm not going to go as far as I wanted to with that because it was wearing me out. So then I went ahead and began creating my tears, and I'm using that same liquid activated Mehron cake paint from earlier in the color black. I tried to initially get that to kind of drip down, but it wasn't, so I ended up having to use the end of my brush to drag that down. I then also went in with that same gold from earlier that I used to try to highlight my brow bone and added some liquid to that to activate it so that I could begin to create some golden tears. I'm going to go back over all of those tears using some chunky glitter in the color gold. I used a finer glitter from Michaels for the black tears, and then I took that same gold into my lid to open up that a little bit because I didn't want it to be completely dark. I put it on my lips thinking I wanted a gold lip, but girl, she wasn't giving what she needed to have gave. So child, I ended up going back with the black and taking out my top lip completely, and I used my mustache to extend my top lip, and then I ended up it didn't really ombre, but just outlining my bottom lip. I ended up actually really liking that, so I left it there. I'm gonna take that same black and then begin to color in my torso and my neck, my upper torso and my neck. I went back after that with that same Mehron gold and began to create some highlight and shape, but I ended up not really liking that. So I ultimately took that same glitter from earlier and began to glitter out my chest and my neck. So I didn't really like how the gold set directly on my skin, so I wanted everything to blend a little better. So I ended up going back with that black to contour my forehead a little bit more, and then I actually painted the bottom of the unicorn horn so that they would blend a little better. Here I am throwing on that glitter. I actually started using an adhesive, but it wasn't really working to my liking, so I just went ahead and went with what I know, which is the hairspray, and that held on the glitter. This is the completed look. Really love this one. It came out much better than I expected. I was really worried along that journey, but it came out great. I loved it. Hopefully you love it too. As always, follow me on social media. Like, comment, share, subscribe, turn on those notifications when you do, and I'll see y'all next time.